Hey everyone, it's Elysabeth Alfano. I am so happy to have you with me. I have wonderful, exciting news. For all of my US listeners in radio, you know this show as the Elysabeth Alfano Show, but it's fall and we are switching things up. So now we've changed the name to Plant-Based Life and Style with me, Elysabeth Alfano. So I am thrilled to have you with me, but nothing else is going to change. It is always going to be in-depth interviews with plant-based leaders and athletes and celebs and influencers and politicians and CEOs. And we're going to get into their lives, and doctors, of course. We're going to get into their lives and hear what they do in their plant-based life and what's motivating them. We'll get health tips and inspirational tips and lots of recipes, of course, because I love to cook. So it's all going to be the same, but we did have that little name change because, it's fall. We wanted to switch it up. And Plant-Based Life and Style is the new name. So I hope that you will join me every week. And I'm always so happy to have you with me. All right. So Plant-Based Life and Style is the new name of the show, and that is wonderful, but it is not my only news. I'm so excited to say, hey, Canada, I love you and welcome to the Plant-Based Life and Style family. Yep. Not only is this radio show syndicated in the US, it's now syndicated in Canada. I'm just not saying this because Canada has now picked me up. I love Canada. I love Canada. It's just a gorgeous, gorgeous place. Every time I visit, I've been to British Columbia and Ottawa. What a little jewel. So and of course I love nature. So I say very wholeheartedly that I love you, Canada. So that's great. I'm so happy to have you with me. And shout out to my new Canadian radio station, Muskoka Information Radio. That's 98.3 FM and muskokainformationradio.com. So props to them. Thanks for picking me up. I love that you're with me, and I'm just happy to be with you every week. Okay, so Canada, that's pretty big news. But I want to bring back some other fun news. You guys who follow me for a while now, you know that every season I like to do a class called Jumpstart Your Plant-Based Life. I used to do these in person, but of course now life is online and we all know that. So that means that anybody from Canada right on down to Mexico or Asia over to Europe, however you want to dice up the globe, anyone can join me. My next class, Jumpstart Your Plant-Based Life, is on October 24th. So I'm going to put here in the banner, you can just go to elizabethalfano.com/recipes and you can sign up. And that means we're going to take you wherever you are in your plant-based journey. You're a flexitarian, you're only doing it once a week. Rockstar, I have got your ticket. So we'll talk about all the things you need to get in your kitchen, all the things you need to get out of your kitchen, a personalized menu plan for you. That's kind of a biggie. Some tips and tricks to help you get through Friday night dinners out if you're doing that kind of thing during COVID, or parties or what have you, to make sure you don't fall off the wagon. And if you do fall off the wagon, how to get you right back on, because that's not really important if you fall off. It's just important that, your health is in your control. That's the most important thing here. Your health is all about you, not what other people tell you to do, but what works for you. So, if you find yourself, cheating, we'll just get you right back on. And really, more importantly, I really want to go over the nutrition of a plant-based lifestyle. So just a little fun fact, meat has no fiber, folks. Meat has no fiber. Cannot be healthy without fiber. Can't do it. So, we'll talk about other things like B12 and calcium and iron and all these great things, protein, of course, fiber that you get from a plant-based diet. So join me October 24th, elizabethalfano.com/recipes. I love to have everybody with me. That's going to be super fun. Now, every once in a while, someone says to me, oh gosh, I love your recipes, Elysabeth, but I do not have time. And I hear ya. So I do love to cook. It really de-stresses me. I love to chop vegetables. I feel so much better when I'm chopping vegetables. But if that's your gig, just go to veestro.com, veestro.com. What I love about them is they're going to deliver plant-based goodness right to your door. It's also going to help you with, portion control. If that's an issue for you, I speak for myself and myself only. It's kind of an issue for me. So I love Vistro.com because then I know it's coming right to my doorstep. It's exactly what I ordered, Mexican or Italian. It's all plant-based. And there's a little bit of portion control going on there. So go to Vistro.com. But most importantly, put in the code Alfano, get your 20% off. And then you can try it and tell me how great it is. Vistro.com, put in the code Alfano, Alfano, get your 20% off and keep yourself healthy even when you can't cook. So that is super helpful there. Okay, so here we're talking about a little bit of health, which is what we always do in this show. But we also break down the news. So those of you who've been with me for a while, you know I like to give it to you straight and break down the news. I've got a new segment, again, because it's fall. I've got a new segment called the Plant-Based Business Minute. I do have a podcast called the Plant-Based Business Hour. So you can also, go deep diving into business if you want that, and go ahead and subscribe to that podcast. But I wanted to break down just really fast some of the plant-based news. So here we go, folks. I'm Elysabeth Alfano, and here's this week's Plant-Based Business Minute. According to Archer Daniels Midland, they have identified 6 emerging behavioral changes during COVID that all affect food sales and growth. Change number 2 is that plant-based is going mainstream. We probably had a feeling for this. So 18% of people have tried plant-based alternative proteins during COVID. 92% of those say that they're going to stay with those alternative proteins. This tells me, from my business bottom line, is that COVID has actually been a tailwind for plant-based foods. As more Americans are looking to get healthy, they want to boost their immune system, and they're looking where their food is sourced and how it's produced. They're asking themselves, do I really need meat? If you doubt me on my business bottom line, I'll tell you that the American Medical Association has written a letter to the Dietary Guidelines for Americans Committee. So that's the committee that advises the USDA on the Dietary Guidelines for Americans. And they have told them in no uncertain terms that meat and dairy should be optional. All right, moving on to my other business bottom lines. Miyoko's Creamery, famed for its vegan cheese, is winning in part its lawsuit against the state of California. The food company is suing the state of California for the right to use the term butter. Other companies such as Upton's Naturals and Tofurky have sued other states for the right to use terms like meat and sausage. Ultimately, right now during the lawsuit, Miyoko's has been awarded the opportunity to continue its First Amendment right and continue to use the word butter. I quote Michelle Simon, the director of the Plant-Based Foods Association, who says this victory is the latest in a growing trend of common sense labeling decisions in courts across the United States. My business bottom line, meat and dairy lobbies look desperate when they do this kind of thing. Consumers are smart. No one thinks plant-based milk is milk. No one thinks plant-based meat is from an animal. No one thinks plant-based dairy is from an animal. If it's plant-based, people can read and they know the difference. So I would say that's wasted effort on the part of meat and dairy lobbies. Okay, my third point for today's Plant-Based Business Minute is, will grocery stores ever be the same? Beyond Meat goes DTC, that's direct to consumer. Now you can buy your box of Beyond Meat and within 2 days it goes directly to you. Of course, they're not the only food company that is going direct to consumer. We're seeing that more and more. But what that does is it shakes up and wakes up the grocery store. Grocery stores used to be the ultimate gatekeeper, and they would decide who gets distributed. It's crazy. Some plant-based foods are only in Brooklyn and San Francisco. Well, what good does that do? You want global distribution. So no longer are grocery stores going to have this ultimate hold, charging large slotting fees. I anticipate that more and more food companies are going to go direct to consumer. This is going to be better for the consumer, as the margins hopefully will be better for the companies, and also price will come down without those large slotting fees. I also anticipate that the grocery store is going to have to get with the program and start defining its real estate within the store, pull out the plant-based foods from in the back of the closet, because that makes no sense. Archer Daniels Midland has told us it's going mainstream. That is my business bottom line. So ultimately, it's better for consumers and it's better for Amazon. This has been this week's Plant-Based Business Minute. I'm Elysabeth Alfano. If you would like a deeper dive into business, of course, just go to the Plant-Based Business Hour, my podcast, and you can subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. If you are a small plant-based business or large meat and dairy, and you want help navigating the plant-based landscape, of course, reach out to me. My website is elizabethalfano.com. You can reach me at elizabeth@elizabethalfano.com and all the socials. And until we do the Plant-Based Business Minute again, together, we're taking back our health, the health of the planet, and the health of our bottom line. Oh, it's an exciting time in plant-based. There is so much news and so much to cover. And I'm so happy that everybody is with me every week, not just in the US, ooh, but also in Canada. Oh, Canada, how I love you. Did I say, isn't that maybe the national anthem? Oh, Canada. Okay. Got to brush up on my Canadian facts. Um, as I said, every show we always do the news and we do health tips, but I also have in-depth interviews, and today is no exception. You all have heard of Don Cheadle. Oh, talk about an actor we love. Well, Don and his lifelong partner, Bridget Coulter, are plant-based. And Bridget is an interior designer. So I'm really excited right after the break to talk to her about new plant-based materials. So usually on the show, we're talking food, food, food. I mean, who wouldn't want to talk food, food, food all day long? But ultimately, what about vegan leather? What about plant-based wool? I hear from investors all the time that they'd like to see that product on the market, plant-based wool. So I can't wait to talk to Bridget, not just about what she and Don eat every night, because I can't wait to hear that. But also, as an interior designer, what is her take on the state of new plant-based materials? I'm looking for the day when I can go to a hotel and I can say, I want a king-size bed and the room to be plant-based. I don't want down pillows. I don't want wool in my rugs or whatever. So I'm really looking forward to that. But ultimately, I just want to give everyone an overview for fall. These are the sorts of things that you can expect on Plant-Based Life and Style with me, Elysabeth Alfano. And of course, always reach out to me, Canada. I'm counting on you at Elysabeth@ElysabethAlfano.com, my website, ElysabethAlfano.com/recipes for all my great recipes, and my interviews, ElysabethAlfano.com. And then, of course, you can always find me on all the socials at Elysabeth Alfano. But gab, gab, gab as we might, let's go to break, and I will be back with Bridget Coulter. Oh, what a mouthful. Thanks, everybody on Jane Unchained. I've got this fun, great news that, my radio show has been picked up by Canada. I'm so over the moon. And I like to tape my radio show on Jane Unchained because she's so great. Here we go for segment 2. Oh, we're back. It's Plant-Based Life and Style. Thank you, everybody, for being with me. I love having you with me. And I do really want to encourage you, if you've got questions about diet, lifestyle, recipes, you're not sure, of course, hit up my website, ElysabethAlfano.com. But you can reach out to me personally, socials or my email, Elysabeth@ElysabethAlfano.com. I am open to it all. I love to hear from everybody. So I hope that you'll do that. All right, Bridget Coulter. Oh, she's so fantastic. Plant-based interior designer. Just love hearing all about that. And I can't wait to talk to her about her work and her life and style, but also what she and her longtime partner, Don Cheadle, eat every night. They're both plant-based. He, of course, is the famed actor. So she's going to join me in just a second. But before she does, I did want to give a shout out to Canada, because now my radio show is in Canada, and I wanted to thank Canada for being with me. So I thought, here are my top 10 reasons to love Plant-Based Canada. Okay, reason number 1. Oh gosh, the Very Good Butchers. They are a company that just went IPO. Technically, they're the third company that went IPO, but really everybody calls them the second company to go IPO, right beyond Beyond Meat. They are located in Victoria, British Columbia, and they are a vegan butcher. So they make all of their plant-based foods themselves, and they sell out like crazy. Right now, if you want to order their direct-to-consumer box of plant-based meats, it's like a 5-week delay. They're incredible. They're on the Canadian Stock Exchange. They're also now going to be in the American stock market. So you can get your Very Good Butcher. They're wonderful. I love them. They've been on my show, The Plant-Based Business Hour. They're my number 1 reason why we love Plant-Based Canada. Going to number 2. Oh, you thought it wasn't possible, but it is. The Vegan Motorcycle Club. Yes, Toronto is the world headquarters, because they have members from all over the world, for the Vegan Motorcycle Club. It's true. You can wear your vegan leather, roll around like the tough dude that you are, and go into dive bars all across Canada and the United States talking to people about veganism. So you go into the dive bars where it's hard to get a plant-based burger, and you start talking about how you love your vegan life. I told you, here's what we love about Vegan Canada, Plant-Based Canada. Number 3, Save to See. It's a small company, but it's going to grow. It makes smoked salmon out of carrots. Yes, it's possible I love this founder, Aki. She is so creative. She's so talented. And I've had it myself in my kitchen. I'm telling you, this plant-based salmon tastes exactly like smoked salmon. And so if you have a hunkering or you feel like that's a taste you've got to have, Save the Sea. I believe they also ship direct to consumers. Okay, Canada, I love you. You are the host of the International Vegan Film Festival, the only one in the world. It is out of Toronto. It is going to have its film festival this October 10th through the 17th. Of course, it's all going to be online, but ivff.com is how you can get information about the International Vegan Film Festival. Sean Stratton in Toronto heads that up, and I love him for it. It's not always food. It's also photography. So shout out to these two Canadian photographers, one with National Geographic, Paul Nicklin, whom I've interviewed, and he captures animals in the wild, including the Canadian polar bear. But he is focused on wildlife and is such an important environmentalist and such a strong voice. And Joanne MacArthur, who often photographs animals in captivity. She herself, an incredibly strong voice for animals and so talented. Shout out to those two Canadian photographers. Then I have all the Canadian food fests. Oh my gosh, from the East Coast to the West Coast, we've got Vegandale, which is doing even social distancing veg fests now as we speak. We've got Veg Expo, which has 2 veg fests happening in 2021, one in January, one in May. And then, of course, the Vegetarian Society has the Veg Food Fest. They're also in Toronto. Just so in case you're wondering, not everything happens in BC and Toronto. Not everything happens in Victoria or Vancouver and Toronto. There's lots of stuff going on in the middle. Ottawa, the sweetest jewel I've ever seen. But just to say that, yes, the Vegetarian Society is in Toronto. Okay, I thought I'd go royal on you a little bit. Now, she's not plant-based, but I'm going to give the girl some props. Oh, the Queen declared last year that she would no longer be wearing fur and that she wanted to get with the times. I believe, if memory serves, she's now recreating her old furs into fake fur, but I give the Queen props for saying fur and wearing it is no longer a la mode. The girl's got style. Speaking of style, Megan Duhamel is the world champion in figure skating. She's from Canada. She's vegan, and she's won a couple gold medals. Well, she's won a gold medal and a silver medal, and she's a champion, and she's a vegan. So, we love her. She, of course, is in Canada. And then I think props out, number 9, to someone dear to my heart, Anita Kragnick. I hope I'm saying that right. Oh, dear Lord. Anita Kragnick. I just know her as Anita. She did start the Animal Save movement in Toronto. This is a movement where when animals are destined for slaughter, they give the animals kindness and water before they are slaughtered. It's an act of kindness. I think our societies can all benefit from this. What could possibly be to criticize in this, being kind to other sentient beings? She started this Animal Save movement. It is now 900 strong across cities around the world. Anita, I do love you. And then my number 10 reason to love Plant-Based Canada is the Plant-Based Life and Style radio show is now in Canada. And I'm so happy to be with all of you. And I do hope that everybody will give me a shout out by reaching out to me personally. I always love to hear from you. ElisabethAlfano.com is my website. Find me on all the socials, and then you can hit me up at my email, Elysabeth@ElisabethAlfano.com. Okay, so we are just about to go to break again, but I do want to say when we come back from break, we're going to get right into it with interior designer Bridget Coulter. I'm over the moon. I have to tell you a little secret. She's very low key. She doesn't like to really talk about her life. Of course, her life with Don Cheadle, the actor, is very private, as it should be. But the reason I know she's plant-based, because it never comes up in the press, is because she and I didn't know this, are kind of neighbors. And I saw her down the street eating with Don in one of my favorite restaurants. And I was like, oh, and didn't want to bother them, of course, while they're eating. So I said, oh gosh, I'm going to look up how I can contact them because they're so private and I wanted to hear about their plant-based life. And she is indeed willing to spill it all, if I might say, with us right here on Plant-Based Life and Style. So we are going to head to break, but oh, Bridget, I can't wait to get into your take on plant-based materials and when we're going to see those in interior design more and more often, particularly hotels. I'm looking for that. And what she and Don eat for dinner. I can't help it. That's what I really want to know. What does she and Don eat for dinner? Who doesn't want to know that? Okay, we're going to head to break and we'll be right back. It's Plant-Based Life and Style with Elysabeth Alfano. Oh my gosh, the fall has started out to a little bit of craziness. I want to thank everybody for watching this introduction to my new radio show that's been picked up by Canada. I'm so happy about it. Bridget is going to join us. She is the next segment, but our schedules got crossed. So it's a little bit of a crazy day today. I'm going to hop off and I'm going to come right back at 2 p.m. Pacific for an in-depth interview with Bridget Coulter. And yes, we're going to find out what she and Don eat for dinner. Stay with me through the madness, everybody. I do appreciate all of you. Together, we're taking back our health and the health of the planet. Thanks for sticking with me, and come back around at 2 o'clock today, right here, right on this channel. And I'll be back with Bridget Coulter.